Hello, my dears. How are you? I hope you're doing well. We have been involved in such an emotional turmoil. I just want to check in with you and see how you're doing. I know a number of people that I've been speaking to are feeling so emotionally drained, but I hope that you're handling all of these various challenges okay. Whew. We have been talking about going out, meaning we've been preparing to go out prior to the protests. And so now we have multiple things that are going on. The protesting and the pandemic and the opening up of different things. These are drastic times, and I'm reminded of a saying that Thomas Paine said in 1776, or way back then. But he said that these are the times that try men's souls. And he was talking about an American crisis. And here we are, dealing with an American crisis again and again. We get a little weary of the repetitiveness of dealing with the same old thing. But we are dealing with this. And we talked about Plan B, Plan B, meaning it's an alternative solution when Plan A, when your first choice is not available, then the definition of Plan B is that other option. And so one would think, do we need to have a Plan C? Because our first choice is not available. And right now, our second choice, our Plan B, is not really available. We're constantly having to accommodate, and adapt to the changing times. And so actually there is no Plan C, but the point is that we want to come up with a plan that we can navigate through all of this uncertainty that's happening right now. So we have to look at all of the things, the totality of everything that's happening. We have the unrest and the emotional part, and these all are impacting every part of us. We're stressed. A lot of us are stressed. A lot of us are tired. Some can't sleep. People are in tears. And so how do we navigate and manage this uncertainty? Well, we know the things to do. We just have to continue to be diligent and to do them. We know as we prepare to go out that we have to handle that first pandemic, which was the COVID-19. That's still out there, in spite of the fact that people are excited and going out, and they're all over the place. I took a drive the other day, and people were out. They're not wearing their masks. They're just so excited to be released. But we mustn't forget that the actions that we take when we go out will trigger consequences. And so we want to continue to stay well. Our whole reason for starting this virtual thriving, was to ensure that we gave those virtual hugs, that we helped with the loneliness and despair, that we were able to flourish. And we did that for months, and it worked. We were safe. And so now, with all of the things that are opening up, they have a plan too. But we are just wanting to make sure that we are suited up, that we are recognizing that all of these things that are impacting our emotions are things that could possibly lower our immune system. So how do we guard our heart? Well, we want to make sure that as we're experiencing these things, that we're taking care of ourselves. You remember that we talked about eat, move, and sleep, and we talked about everything that we did brought us closer to life or death. Well, this stress on our system, on our hearts, on our minds, this sadness can cause us to go into grieving and all sorts of things. So I just want you to be aware and to know that what you're feeling and to acknowledge it. Because we talked about obstacles, and this is helping us to realize, although it wasn't a realization that we really wanted to see triggered, but this whole protest and everything is another huge obstacle. And so we're having this multi-layered of obstacles, and this multi-layer of all of these things is residing someplace in our heart and our system, wherever your vulnerabilities are. And so it's necessary for us to walk it off, write it off, meditate it off. As a counselor, the suggestion has always been that we counselors would get together and talk and share so that we could get off of us the stresses and all of the different things that we've accumulated in helping others. This is something that we, and you and non-counselors, you are leaders and on your jobs, this is something that is necessary for you also, because these things are those things that lead to burnout, that impact how you perform and how you are. And so we have to look at the things that are impacting us, and we have to come up with a plan, another plan. It seems like plan B is ever evolving, but plan B always becomes necessary when the plan that you have right now is not working. Fortunately, we don't live in a hurricane zone. On the news, it was saying, how are the people who have the COVID-19 going to deal with the hurricane season? Well, we don't have to worry about that, but all of the things and plans we had in place to cope with the COVID would be the things that they would be normally doing, gathering in a huge place and all of that just to be safe. Well, that's out. So that's just an example of the plans that were put in place for another emergency. That plan B won't work for those people who are expecting hurricanes. So already we have several layers of obstacles. We have the pandemic, which has caused job loss, deaths, and so much. We've been working on managing this uncertainty. And I just want to encourage you as you prepare for your next step to just remember to stay safe. Know that you're loved. Know that we will get through this. And reach out and touch someone. Be a vital friend. Because the way we get through this is being supportive of one another, not letting us hang out there all by ourselves, being awake, not sleepwalking, and not let this event paralyze us. That's a comment that I hear from some. They're saying this whole thing has them crying and paralyzing. So just be aware of how you're feeling, and then think of a plan of how you're going to handle yourself and your needs. I love you. Take care. And I'm definitely sending you a virtual hug. We will thrive and we will get through this. So lift up a prayer for our people. Let's stay united and let's stay together. Bye-bye.